Tonight, the Nets look to Scott Olsen, anxious to prove he belongs in the rotation down the stretch. Nets and Marlins on another hot, humid night in the nation's capital.
It's a great day for baseball.
Disappointing return home for the Nats last night. It was all Marlins as they took care of Steven Strasburg. Ryan Zimmerman, Adam Dunn, the bulk of the Nats offense lately. They're both in there tonight, but Dunn is batting third and Zimmerman batting fourth. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, who always bats first. And let's hear from you about tonight's starting pitcher. Strasburg, disappointing outing last night. The former Marlin, Scott Olsen, continues his comeback trail.
Well, with Steven Strasburg, his job next year is not really in jeopardy with this ball club. But for Scott Olsen, I mean, he's got about 10 more starts to prove his worth. And when he was with the Florida Marlins, there you see 31, 33, and 33. And then so far with Washington, 11 last year, got injured. 10 this year, has had a sore shoulder. And so he's got about 49 more games. I'll say about maybe 8 more starts, 9 more starts to see if the Nationals are going to bring him back for next year. Now, he's got the stuff, and he can definitely do it, but this is the guy he's going up against.
Chris Volstad, just 23 years of age and a 20-game starter this year. He's a former number 1 draft choice back in 06. There's been a lot of guys from that year make it to the major leagues, and he's been tough on the Nats going back to early May.
Well, he's a big guy, 6'8", got a very heavy sinker, but he doesn't like to throw it when he gets ahead of us. So hopefully tonight, when he gets 2 strikes on you, look for the breaking ball.
And as we consider Scott Olsen's situation, Rob, you mentioned, he's pitching for his job here in the last couple months of the season. Sometimes we forget he's only 26 years old, even though he's been around for a while.
But you also have to look at what happened to Jason Marquis. Chen-Ming Wong has never really materialized. You got to start going in a direction where you can get guys. I listened to Jim Riggleman before the game, and he talked about we need starters to go deep into ball games. We shouldn't even be getting the bullpen up until the 6th and 7th inning. So for Scott Olsen, for Jason Marquis, and guys like that, they need to do a better job of going deeper, 21 outs at least, into the ballgame.
Olsen, part of that bumper crop back in 06. He was with the Marlins then. We know who this guy was playing for. Second in the Rookie of the Year voting. Josh Willingham, class of 06, was a Marlin. Hanley Ramirez, the guy that won the Rookie of the Year. And, of course, the slugging of Dan Uggla. What a year that was. And brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the 2011 Jaguar XJ. And by Hyundai's Hope on Wheels Foundation. Earlier today, the foundation donated $50,000 to the Georgetown Lombardi Comprehensive Cancer Center. Thank you, Hyundai. We appreciate your great support. National Harbor, the Potomac, on a hot Wednesday night. The Nats and the Marlins will play Game 2. It is Scott Olson and Chris Volstad. And Olson faces this Marlins lineup. They're 11th in the league in hitting, but 10th in runs and 8th in home runs. And Hanley Ramirez is just working over the Nats. How about a couple of change-ups or curveballs to this guy or something? He has been unbelievable. Scott Olson, career 1-1 in 4 starts against his former teammates. 36 career wins, 44 losses. Tonight, Olson makes his 11th start. Opponents hitting .269 against him. 3-3, trying to get that 4.12 ERA down, Rob.
PNC Bank scouting report. Keys to Scott's achieving success tonight will be, he's a big homer. He loves pitching in his own ballpark. 22 and 23 at home over his career. Hey, I know you guys. I used to pitch for you. 101 starts, 31 and 37 when he was in a Marlins uni. And tonight's the night. It usually takes about 3 starts when you come off the disabled list to get it to all kick in and be pitching and not thinking about your shoulder anymore. He's 1-1 with a 5.4. So let's do it tonight.
Defensively, the Nats. Willie Harrison left field. Josh Willingham has a sore knee, and they'd like to give the Hammer a night off. Desmond Kennedy up the middle. Zimmerman Dunn the corners. Pudge behind the plate. And, of course, the regular 2 right now in center and right of Bernardina and Morse. And Willie Harris appearing in his 91st game of the year. Olson is ready. So is Hanley Ramirez, who is 6 for his last 12. And as we mentioned last night, back in that leadoff spot with Chris Coughlin injured, Alan Porter, junior member of this crew, has the plate. Mike Winters, Hunter Wendelstedt, crew chief Jerry Lane on the bases. Olson pumps in a strike. This one underway at 7:07, 96. Kind of hazy overhead. It was up in triple digits for a short time today. Olson goes inside with a fastball against his ex-teammate. And the count to Ramirez, 1-1. Hanley on base percentage, .366. Last night, 3 for 4, 3 doubles, 3 runs scored. And that's low and inside. 3 consecutive heaters by Olson to start the game.
Well, and I'm sure Scott watched last night's Strasburg start, and anytime he got his arms extended, he was all over the ball and covering the outside portion of the plate. So that's why come inside and make him know you're coming inside.
That's a strike on the inside corner. Well, I'm not sure Scott was exactly licking his chops while he was charting that game in the dugout last night.
Well, his second pitch in this sequence looked very similar to that one, and that's maybe why Ramirez didn't like the call, because he got a ball on the first one.
There's a breaking ball, and Ramirez on it. Fouled it straight back, almost as if he was expecting the hook. Braves won today. They got 6 runs in the 10th inning and beat Houston 8-2.
Including Brian McCann's 7th grand slam of his career.
His 17th home run. 2-2. And Ramirez chops it foul. Another day game. St. Louis now has a 1-game lead in the Central. They completed their sweep at Cincinnati behind Adam Wainwright, who's 17-6, beating the Reds 6-1.
Hard to tell who's the ace on the Cardinals, because Carpenter's fantastic, but Wainwright, even last year, had 5 more starts than Carpenter. Finished behind him in the Cy Young Award voting.
And a 2-2 to Ramirez.
Even though it's 98 degrees or 96, Scott Olson's still got a pair of sleeves on tonight. Likes to sweat.
And career 3 for 11 against his former teammate. 1 RBI among those hits. And a fly ball right field. That'll be out of play. Small crowd on hand tonight after the Nats had almost 26,000 here for Strasburg's start last evening. The Nats at home 29-24. The Marlins on the road with their win last night evened their record at 26-26. Had him reaching. The Nats have him played up there. Kennedy with a good play. Close and out at first base. And that ball came close to hitting the bag. The Nats got a good roll when it missed the second base bag, and Ramirez retired.
Well, like you said, Bob, this is played perfectly by Adam Kennedy. Right up the middle, right over the bag. It's just, is it going to hit the bag? And it doesn't. He gets it. Quick snap throw to first, and they get him by a step. But you don't normally see the second baseman on that side of second base, so a wonderful play by Kennedy to start off the game.
Good scouting by the Nats. Good execution. And here's the rookie Logan Morrison, who walked 3 times in the game last night. In his first 11 big league games, he had walked twice, and the Nats gave him 3 free passes. Two of those very damaging preceding RBI extra base hits by Dan Uggla. Well, the Nats still feel they have a chance to catch Florida in the East. Time to make a move. They're 7 games behind the Marlins. And that's outside 2-0.
Well, even though Hanley Ramirez didn't get a hit, that was a 9-pitch at bat to start off the game.
Nationals are still hunting that 50th win of the year. Couldn't get it done Saturday or Sunday in LA or last night. So Olsen trying to halt a 3-game losing streak. Must have been low. 3-1. Gabby Sanchez coming up next for the Marlins. Olsen with a good fastball. Morrison's an interesting story. Went to high school in Louisiana, junior college in Kansas City. His dad didn't know anything about baseball, so he went and checked out a couple of books, and one of them was Charlie Lau's Art of Hitting 300. Studied that book considerably. His son went to Maple Woods Community College in the Kansas City area, same school where Albert Pujols cut his teeth. And then 22nd round draft choice by the Marlins in 05. He was hitting .307 at AAA New Orleans when the Fish called him up July 27th. Target up by Pudge, and he lines one out to left center. Logan Morrison's second hit of the series, and he's on base for the 5th time. That'll bring in Gabby Sanchez. Oh, and the other thing about Morrison, he also worked with Kevin Seitzer, a former major leaguer. He and Mike McFarland, an ex-Royals catcher, have a baseball academy in the Kansas City area. They've produced some pretty good youngsters out of there. Here's Sanchez hitting .293.
Seitzer was an excellent contact hitter.
Yes, he was. That ball hit to right. Michael Morse is right there. Nothing like an easy, quick out. And look out, he has to face Dan Uggla. Zimmerman and Dunn, 500 hitters against Volstad. Rest of the team hitting about $160. Dan Uggla, best power of anybody in baseball since the All-Star break, hit number 26 here last night. And the Marlins, despite not hitting for high average, are scoring runs. Look at that, 226. Overall, they're hitting .254. They're 1 click behind the Nats, who will check in at number 10 in the league, .255. Ugla, 4th in the league in homers and runs, 8th in total bases. And Olsen not very shy about throwing that fastball up and in. As mentioned last night, hits better away from home than he does at cozy Sun Life Stadium. Good pitch, had him locked up. He doesn't get the call. 1-1.
Well, there's some good moving fastballs right now in the low 90s. Isn't throwing too many curves, wanting to probably save that for the second and third time through the lineup, but he's got a great over-the-top curveball that he can throw down and in on righties. Wants to establish the fastball early.
Beautifully done, inside corner. Scott has not been able, or rather not been afraid, to bury the fastball in on the right-hander so far.
Watch a little jump at the end, though. Right at the end, it moves over a little bit. It's got a nice little tail going to it, maybe even cutting it.
Adam not really holding the runner. He's about 2 steps off the bag. And Morrison taking a medium-sized lead. Adam, a lot of times, will take a lead off, get right in front of that runner. And Scott Olsen has mastered Ugla so far. Knock on wood. Retiring him 10 of 11 times. And just like that, he reaches out and takes an off-speed pitch into left field. 2 on, 2 out.
Well, a lot of fastballs. Now he comes in with a changeup. See it turn it over. Well, he was looking for that. Keeps his hands back just long enough to put it in play. You don't want that changeup to come back into a righty. You want it to dive away from the righty.
Here's Cody Ross, who's driven in 53 runs. He hammers one. Left field. Desmond can't get it. Willie Harris up with the ball. Air mails a throw. All the runners move up. 1-0 Florida. And Willie Harris just gave Ugla and Ross extra bases with that throw. 3 games in a row now, the Nationals have given up first inning runs.
And it's tough to always be chasing down the lead. And again, they're going to have to chase down a run here in the first inning. And now for Scott Olsen, he's got to try to minimize damage. You see a great effort by Desmond on the Exmo. You see Morrison coming around, Willie Harris, and right at the end, let's go the ball just a little bit early and air mails it over Punch Rodriguez. But you got to get that one hop down.
Pitcher doing his job by backing up the plate, but 2 runners moved up.
Exactly. You can't allow the guy who just got a single to end up on second, and then the guy on first to end up on third. Pass ball scores another run.
Base hit scores 2. Big strong rookie, and that's a fair ball. The Marlins will have 3 runs before the Nationals bat. At least 3. 4 hits now. And you figured if they were able to retire Hanley Ramirez, should be a good first inning. It's the other guys hurting the Nats now.
Well, it's another changeup, and this one's up in the zone. And I know he's a big, strong, young guy, but you want to establish the fastball inside. So you fell behind 1-0, 1-0 changeup. Good idea, but it's got to be down and going the other way. So right now his changeup is kind of breaking like a curveball into the hitters, into the righties. That's dangerous. You talk about pulling the string. What that means is get that arm way out in front and pull down like you're pulling down a window shade. And then you get that reverse action on the changeup and it goes away from the righty.
Nationals have now given up 9 runs in the first inning of the last 3 games. And that man's ability to manage now has been taken away from him for the next few innings. Donnie Murphy, the hitter, third base tonight. He slaps it off the arm of Zimmerman. Another run scores. Murphy to second base. And now the Nats have given up 10 runs in the first inning of the last 3 games.
Well, that was another changeup up in the zone. Now you're getting to the bottom of the order where you'd like to see him throw more fastballs, and it's about an 82-mile-an-hour changeup. Actually, it looks like a cut fastball. But everything he's throwing right now is right in the middle of the hitting zone, and Zim gets a glove on it, but
well, this was a big problem for this pitching staff in June and July. First inning runs given up. 4 at LA Sunday, 2 last night, 4 more here tonight. Ronnie Paulino will be the 8th Marlin to bat in the inning. Well, Scott hadn't done that badly in the first inning until tonight. Nothing unearned about these runs. The ball's being hit hard by the Fish.
Well, what happens is when you got the second and third with 1 run in, all bets are off. The game plan goes out the window for this inning, and you need 1 out to get out of the inning. And that's where you start managing the game. And it's like course management in golf. You say, all right, I got to start coming with an out pitch right here, so I got to throw some good breaking balls in the dirt. But fastball changeup, and they're lighting them up down the left field line. Even what Steven Strasburg said after last night's start, that's something the staff needs to change, their thought process. When you're out in the middle of a major league game, you're in the middle of a major league game. This isn't like it's some minor league game or a college game. You're working on your stuff. You work on your stuff on the side.
You walk Paulino now.
You go out and you play a major league game. Guys depend on you to be out there competing. And, you know, I was trying to work on, getting my mechanics back together. Well, that's something you work on in the bullpen. But you got to figure out, if you're Scott Olson tonight, how do I get that last out of this first inning and minimize the damage?
Ninth man to bat will be the pitcher, Chris Volstad. 3 for 28 with an RBI this year. He's a 119 career batter. Pop-up right side, Adam Dunn looking at it, reaching it, grabbing it. Top of the first, over. Not sure what's heavier, the air here or the burden of a 4-run Florida first. 7th in runs out of 16 teams and 9th in homers. He and Desmond hitting .348 over the last couple of weeks. His batting average sitting at .260. Right behind Bernardina, who's hitting .323 his last 10 games. So the young guys with pop and speed showing some life at the top of that lineup. Dunn is in the number 3 hole tonight. I'll tell you why Jim Riggleman did that in a moment after we check out. Chris Volstad, 20 and 25 career, and in 6 starts against the Nationals, he's 3-1.
6'8", 240 pounds. Hey boys, I'm back. PNC Bank scouting report. 3-1 career against the Nationals. 2-0 this season with a 1.6 ERA. Blown out though on the road. 6 ERA on the road, 3-4 at home. He's a 3.6, and then, like I said, 6'8", a big downward plane.
Yeah, the Marlins are trying to convince him to throw his sinker more because he is throwing downhill severely, and he'll get ahead with that thing and then start nibbling around. They have been frustrated with him. As Rob said, I'm back. That's because he was sent down to New Orleans July 7th. He was down there for 18 days and made 3 starts.
A bit of an attitude adjustment. You see that downward movement of his pitches.
Tight zone to start off his inning. 3-0 to Roger. Bernardina hitting .275. On base percentage .333. 4-pitch walk. The worst thing a pitcher can do after being handed a nice lead.
Well, he's 6'8". Normally you would think a 6'8" guy would be pushing and shoving for rebounds in basketball, but Volstad, straight leg over the top, nice mechanics. A couple of those pitches could have gone either way as far as strikes. And Alan Porter back there. I look back, though, top half of that inning, and Hanley Ramirez's 9-pitch at-bat to start the game was a very productive at-bat. He didn't get a hit, but, you know, his team was able to see pretty much everything Olsen was going to feature in the first inning.
Gabby Sanchez had one of those last night. Sanchez had one of those against Strasburg down in Florida. So Hanley made an out. He's at short up the middle with Ugla. And Desmond hitting .260.
Well, Desmond should wait until he gets a strike. There you go.
Okay. Don't know if Adam Dunn was in the on-deck circle saying, hey, rookie, don't swing. Make him throw a couple. Adam is third in the lineup tonight.
He should know better.
Yeah.
He's 6 years in the minor leagues.
Bernardina running.
Good pitch to run on.
Yeah, he's in there easily. And for Roger, that'll be number 9. Bernardina and Desmond have combined for 21 stolen bases and been caught just 5 times.
Well, I think Dan Radisson noticed that he's got more than a 1-2 second delivery for a big man, and so Roger, you don't want to look in after you take off. Just put your head down and run to second. Paulino from his knees, pretty decent throw, 1 hop. Not in time.
2-1 to Ian Desmond. With the third baseman, Donnie Murphy, playing deep. An idea for a bunt hit.
Maybe even next time try to push it to the second baseman. What a great idea, trying to move the runner along. Volstad, this is the time you want to get him. 2-hitter, hitting .339 against him. Third batter in the lineup, .357. And the cleanup hitter this year hitting .347 against Volstad.
And Desmond hangs tough. Mets are hosting Colorado tonight behind Jonathan Neese. Angel Pagan, his 10th homer of the year, bottom of the first. New York 2-0. Dodgers are at Philadelphia. Good matchup. Billingsley and Oswalt there. And they're scoreless, bottom of the second. Mets a half game up on the Florida Marlins, but they're 8, now 9 back of Atlanta. Desmond on an off-speed pitch pops it up for Dan Uggla.
Good changeup by Volstad.
Marlins are 14th in the league defensively with 87 errors. Logan Morrison, Cody Ross, and Mike Stanton in the outfield. Hanley Ramirez, Dan Uggla up the middle, Donnie Murphy and Gabby Sanchez the corners, and Ronnie Paulino behind the plate. Here's Adam Dunn. Jim Riggleman bats him third on occasion when Josh Willingham's not in the lineup. He does that so that Zimmerman can provide protection for Dunn, and he gets a kind of a left-right look with Bernardino, Desmond, Dunn, and Zimmerman. But then he has to hope that a guy like Michael Morse can give Ryan some protection. This is about a half dozen times or so that Jim Riggleman has flip-flopped Dunn and Zimmerman in the 3 and 4 spots this year. Adam suddenly slumping after his big night in Los Angeles Friday. He's 0 for 12 in his last 3 games. Way out ahead of that.
With Willingham out, I mean, there's 52 home runs between Zim and Dunn, but 32 between the rest of the starters tonight. So this is more of a speed lineup. They should be able to set the table for at least Adam Dunn and Ryan Zimmerman, and possibly Michael Morse will get some guys on base in front of him if these guys don't clean them up. We got to start getting more guys on base. Chasing down 3 runs in the first inning, though. That's tough. That's tough to do. Did a lot of that last year.
One and 2 to the dangerous Dunn.
Well, Ken Griffey Sr. used to call this 2-month period before the end of the year the salary drive portion. And also would say these last 2 months can clean up your permanent record, what goes on your baseball card. So for some guys who may not have had the greatest years to this point, whether it be hitting or pitching, now's the time with 50 games remaining to go out there and put some decent numbers up to save your season.
High to Dunn. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2-2 to Dunn, who just manages to stay with it. And this will not be a quick inning for Chris Volstad either. And that's going to make him throw more than 20. 18 so far, 10 strikes. And Dunn will pop it up left side. He was reaching for that. Donnie Murphy back into fair territory to make that catch. 2 down.
Well, not the worst idea. There's a huge gaping hole at shortstop.
Nats took 2 of 3 for the Marlins back in May on the first night, May 7th. Ryan Zimmerman 2 for 4 with this home run. Deep right center against Volstad. But later in that game, Gabby Sanchez hit a tie-breaking single in the 8th. Bruni the loss. The Nats lost it 4-2 and then beat the Marlins 5-4, 3-2 in the next 2 games of that weekend series.
Oh, just a base hit would be beautiful right here. But Dunn was trying to shoot through shortstop on that off-speed pitch, go the other way, because Murphy was playing his normal position, but they had the shift on, so there was nobody home at shortstop.
And they have to play Zimmerman deep. That's a front door breaking ball. That surprised Ryan with the strike call. Cody Ross in center, just a little bit of a shade toward right. Big gap in left center and down the left field line. Zimmerman right up the middle. That'll get the Nats on the board. Bernardino comes flying home And Ryan Zimmerman drives in his 64th run. The Nats make the Marlins pay for the leadoff walk.
Well, great breaking ball to start him off in this at-bat. Then 92. And watch the X-Mo. He just keeps his leg up. Balance point. Come down right on the ball. Right back up the middle. Base hit RBI. And that's huge with 2 outs in the first inning when you're down 4-0.
I was also watching Ryan's helmet. That head did not move at all, Rob, through that swing. He was right on that ball, watching it all the way onto his bat. So here's Michael Morris in that number 5 spot. Zimmerman's running, and he'll steal a base. That doesn't happen very often. Ryan 3 out of 4 this year. And the Nats rack up their 85th and 86th steals here.
I just think Jim Riggleman wants to run. When you're 15 games out of first place, I don't think it really matters a whole lot, but you need to score some runs. Get a guy in scoring position with 2 outs, and hopefully Michael Morris can drive him in.
By the way, we'll be bringing you our top of the hour reset here in just a few moments. Bottom of the first. It's been a long one for both pitchers. Morse hits it hard. Good pick by Dan Ugla. And the Nats will get a run on a 1 hit, a walk, and 2 stolen bases. 4-1 Marlins after 1. By Hager. Hager, established 1926. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. How hot is it inside the monument this evening? From Section 102, beautiful Nationals Park, August 11th, 96 at game time. The same guy who led off the first starts the second. Either pitcher with a very good first inning. And Olsen takes on Ramirez again. First pitch breaking ball in there. And he went soft on him again.
There's that good breaking ball.
Hanley Ramirez high in the air, left center, way out of here. That's as far as we've seen a visiting player hit one here. And he continues to punish Nationals pitching, not only this year, but last year 08, 07, 06, you name it. It just never seems to end with this guy.
Well, if you're trying to throw one underneath his chin, Kinetic here will show you that is not a good pitch. 0-2, down and into a right-hander. And he just dropped the bat head after a really good curveball down low and crushed that ball.
Well, the Nats for years keep thinking they can throw fastballs by this guy. That ball stung. Desmond can't reach it. And Logan Morrison is aboard again.
2 for 2.
That rookie came to town hitting .234.
Now this team came to play. This Marlins team, give them credit for last night. They came to play again tonight.
7 hits already. And the bullpen is stirring. Third hitter of the inning, Gabby Sanchez, who flied to right first time. Miguel Marathon Man Batista is up. I had a chat with Craig Stammen today. I asked him how he felt after going 2 innings in relief last night, and could he pitch again tonight if needed. He said absolutely. He said he felt great coming out of his outing. And he had actually done some relieving at Potomac a few years ago for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, the long men may be employed early tonight.
You know what? Even if he wasn't feeling good, I would have been surprised had he told you he wasn't feeling good. Pitchers lie through their teeth.
Off speed, swing and a foul tip. But it's interesting when you talk to them, and Craig follows the pattern of other guys I've chatted with over the years, who after starting for a period of time, they want to stay in the big leagues first of all, and they're willing to do anything to do that. But he said, I kind of like coming to the ballpark knowing I might pitch. He actually told me, I'm one of those guys who kind of goes crazy for 4 days in between starts.
Maybe this is his calling. I was one of those such guys. I started for 2 years in the minor leagues, and I just couldn't deal with a bad outing for 4 days. Oh. It ate me alive. So
your roommates told me that same thing.
Well, Norm ended up, and I roomed with him for 7 years. He became a reliever too because he was wired all the time. It's just a question of, that having that everyday player feeling as a reliever.
Good pitch just off the plate, 3-2.
And I totally understand what he's saying, because most guys, high school, college, you're everyday players. When you didn't pitch, you're playing short, center field, whatever. And he's a heck of a hitter, so you know he was playing in college. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you pitch once every 5 days. It's almost like those 4 days you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah. You just reminded me of the other thing he said. 3-2 with nobody out. A walk. Stammen said, it's really going to cut down my at-bats now that I'm not a starter, and I'm not happy about that part.
That's all right, though. He doesn't make his living as a hitter.
All right. 2 on, nobody out. And now you're looking at Dan Uggla. And this is getting ugly for Scott Olson. Uggla, base hit, reaching on a 2-strike pitch. You know, that was 1 man on with 2 outs in the first inning when he got that hit. Yep. No runs in. These guys are standing in there waving those bats. It may be too late for Olson, but somebody may need to be knocked off the plate here.
Yeah, and this is something that Jim Riggleman said about Strasburg's start last night, that, listen, when you're out there competing and you don't have your good stuff, and that's going to happen to you, you know, the other team doesn't care if you're Steven Strasburg. They don't care if you're Scott Olson. They're trying to get you out of the game in the first inning and pound on you. That's what they're getting paid to do. So you've got to give the other team a little bit of credit. Tim Lincecum got beat up badly last night, and of course everybody today is questioning his mechanics, his size. You know, a free pitcher at the major league level is going to have their lunch fed to them.
Ubaldo Jimenez had 2 bad weeks recently.
It happens to Hall of Famers. So for 10 starts for Strasburg, people need to just relax and give the kid a couple more starts before he's back to the kid that got here a couple months ago.
0-2 pitch and a good breaking ball. by Scott Olson, his first strikeout.
That was a do-or-die at bat right there against Ugla. He had to make some great pitches, and he did. And hopefully that turns around his afternoon. But comes in, nice breaking ball. Comes back with another good breaking ball. Then he's going to throw a third breaking ball down and in. Maybe the 3 best pitches of the night for Scott Olson.
Cody Ross, RBI hit to left last time. First pitch changeup misses.
Can't stop throwing fastballs either, though. You got to try to locate them. Maybe a hair off the plate. Try to get underneath the guy's hands. Nice try.
Two walks, 7 hits in the ball game so far. Desmond really playing to pull it short. That's where Ross singled through the hole last time up.
Nice change up right there.
Yeah, he thought he was getting 2-0 fastball, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And he just uncorked a free swing right here. So it'll be a 2-0. Great change up. Nice form. And here's the X-Mo showing the whiff. Not even close.
Another changeup. He was way out ahead of it.
It's okay. Just don't make that mistake a little farther away from him.
Already 9 at-bats with runners in scoring position for the two teams combined. Nationals have 1 hit. That was Zimmerman. Another long count, 3-2.
What's strange, I just feel like, okay, it's 5-1. We're only down by 4. But looking at Volstad and his 6 ERA on the road, I just think we could come back on him. Just want to end it right here. Try to roll a double play.
In the air, left center. Roger Bernardina cruising to it. 2 outs. Olson fighting for his second inning of life here, and he'll face Mike Stanton, who doubled in those 2 runs that really made that a big inning for the Marlins.
I don't think Jim Riggleman wants to go past 5 runs given up this early in a ball game. But I think that if Scott could do this 1, 2, 3 and get out of the inning after he gave up that 1 run, I think he's probably seen enough to leave him out there. He's due up 4th in the batting order. Neither pitcher getting that inside corner either.
Yeah, it seems like they're not getting with fastballs.
Nope.
But some of the off-speed stuff in there has been called. We don't really know anything about Alan Porter. First time we've ever seen him. They're working in new umpires this year. There's always 3 or 4 every year.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen an umpire that far over with a hitter up at the
that's
plate.
true.
I've never seen an umpire standing almost directly behind Stanton's right shoulder.
Wow. His mask is at least a foot off of home plate. Broken bat, and that'll be a foul ball. So I guess he would be able to see the inside pitch.
I'm thinking, how are you missing those pitches? You're almost right there up front and personal with him.
If Rob Dibble's standing on the mound, you have to look in and say, how could I ever get an outside corner strike?
Wow.
But just when we think we've seen
everything at this level.
New.
Yeah. No, that's.
I mean, this is amazing where this umpire's setting up.
He's got 1 foot behind the catcher. There's no way you're going to get that outside pitch.
Yeah, and he's left himself open for foul tips there.
Yep, he could catch one. He's in a precarious position where he's at.
Hunter Wendell-Stets, the second base umpire, right in the baseline out there. 2 on, 2 out, and a 3-1 pitch. That's hammered. Desmond! Does he have it? No! It touched his glove 3 different times. And the Marlins lead 6-1. He made an amazing reach to get to it and just couldn't get control. Mike Stanton has 3 RBIs.
This is just a very athletic play. The ball is ripped on a line. Desmond throws up the leather, tries to make an amazing play, and he just can't come up with that final little squeeze, but still a great attempt.
And that'll finish Scott Olsen. Desmond's first reach, the ball hit the thumb of his glove, and he couldn't control it. Scott Olsen will get 5 outs, an inning and 2/3, and lead the game, having given up 8 hits. And the Nats right now can't seem to get a quality start from anybody. Upcoming schedule tomorrow night. It'll be Ricky Nolasco and Livan Hernandez, finale of this series. Diamondbacks are in for 3. DC 50 joins us for the day game on Sunday. Day off Monday. On to Atlanta. 3 in Georgia. 3 at Philadelphia next week. And of course, Nats Extra 30 minutes before every ball game with Johnny and Ray right here at the ballpark the rest of the week. Miguel Batista, the one guy who gets called upon in the most hopeless situations. Down big early in a game, hoping to keep the other team at bay. First assignment, retired Donnie Murphy.
Well, he's pitched a lot lately, so he should have a good sinker tonight with a tired arm. 59
innings on the year in 42 appearances. So he seldom ever goes 1 inning at a time. Opponents hitting only .248 against him. Part of Miguel's problem has been control. 41 strikeouts, 32 walks.
Sanchez moves up to third base on that wild pitch.
First and third, 2 outs. This inning started with a Hanley Ramirez homer, a 400 plus to left center. Batista got in on the hands of Murphy.
A nice challenge pitch right there. He said, okay, trying to be a little bit too fine and work that sinker under your hands. Here's a fastball, 94 right at you. Let's see if you can hit it.
On 1-2, another base hit. Sounded like a broken bat. Sanchez scores. Another run charged to Scott Olson, and now it's 7-1. Here's Ronnie Paulino. Walked intentionally, first time. I hate to have to see him walk in again to get to the pitcher 2 innings in a row. On a wild pitch, they might.
Breaking ball, a little flat, just stayed there.
Might as well put him on now. And a 3-1 pitch hit out to Adam Kennedy. Over to Desmond. Inning over, but the Marlins score 3 more times and have 7 on the board already. For the Luna double in our second inning here. Extra base hits. National League leaders Adam Dunn is right up there ahead of Jason Worth. Albert Pujols. And then hitters like Joey Votto, Matt Holliday, Andres Torres, and Corey Hart. Call for the Luna double. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. Adam Dunn 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for his last 13. And the Nats will have to get the bats very busy to have any chance to get back into this. Kennedy, Rodriguez, and Harris bottom 2.
It's a tough time for the offense to go cold when the pitching staff seems to be a little frigid at the same time.
Scott Olson's line, an inning and 2/3. 7 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 1 intentional, 1 strikeout, a homer, 56 pitches, 33 strikes. Chris Volstad, 24 pitches, 16 strikes in his first inning. Kennedy, left side. Roller to Donnie Murphy. Edge Rodriguez and Willie Harris, the next 2 hitters. 8 o'clock in our nation's capital. Is there any way we can push the clock back to 7 and just start over? 7-1 Marlins here in the second inning. Nats have been out hit 9-1.
I think they call that a mulligan in golf.
Well, I did play with Ray once. We weren't happy the way things were going. We went back and started over. I don't think that's going to wash tonight. Pudge up the middle. To his left. Hanley Ramirez never came up with the ball. He got there. Pudge had 2 hits last night. We'll see how they score this one.
That better be a hit. He was way over towards third base. See where he's playing him. The ball's right off the mound.
They're going to give Hanley Ramirez an error on that. That'll be his 15th of the year. And I will not be surprised to see that one get changed later. That's why I bring White out to the games, for when we write things down before we hear the official scorer announce it. Harris with a pop fly left field. Right there, Logan Morrison. Marlins with their 88th error of the year. The Nats have made 89. Purchase your Sunday Family Fun Pack. It includes a seed hot dog, chips and a soda starting at $14. Visit nationals.com/kids to purchase your Family Fun Pack tickets. The next one right here on Sunday when the Diamondbacks close out this 1-week homestand. Batista. Career batting numbers this year, he's 1 for 6. And he might bat more than once tonight.
Here, Volstad, at least he's sticking to his game plan for him. Hopefully the Nationals can start getting to that changeup and the curveball. He's not just pumping fastballs in there like it's batting practice. He's still trying to get guys out, throw stuff down in the zone.
Miguel holds up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Volstad drafted in the first round back in 05. 16th player taken overall. Batista's going to be called out on strikes, so I guess Alan Porter can see that outside corner. 96 at the ballpark, and that's just what you need to make it a little hotter. And Mike Stanton has 3 RBIs already, the rookie. Scott Olson knocked out by his former teammates, and Nationals tormentor Hanley Ramirez does it again with his 16th homer of the year. He has 4 extra base hits in this series. And the hits kept on coming in that first inning.
Well, they just seem to be standing there looking at some location that's right in the hitting zone. And then 0-2 to Hanley Ramirez. That was the icing on the cake. And if you're going to miss down. If you're trying to get inside, you better get way inside.
Top of the 3rd inning. And Miguel Batista will face Chris Volstad, Hanley Ramirez, and Logan Morrison. Oh, yeah, Hanley Ramirez batting for the 3rd time.
He doesn't seem to care where he hits, does he? Hitting leadoff, he hit
Not when
double
he plays
after
this
double and home runs, and I'd be smiling too if I was him.
Volstad, a 119 career hitter coming in. Well, the Marlins 2 nights in a row have taken the air out of this ballpark. 4 runs in the first 3 innings last night. 7 in the first 2 tonight, and that's way outside 1 and 2. Batista gets strikeout number 1. AT&T Trivia. Adam Dunn, 346 homers in his first 10 seasons. Who holds the record for home runs in his first 10?
I'm going to say A-Rod.
Let's call that a pretty good guess.
Quickest to 600.
Henry Aaron hit a lot in the second half of his career. Never hit 50. Most home runs first 10 years. I might have to go with the Babe.
Remember, the Babe was a pitcher for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's true.
Won 94 games as a pitcher.
Way outside 3-0. We know Hanley wants to swing the bat. He didn't want to take that walk.
Well, but he's not just a power guy or a slasher. He won the batting title last year. He's a good contact guy, too.
Yeah. He has a chance to be a 30-30 guy this year if he hurries up on the homers. He's at 16, 22 stolen bases. He'd have to have a huge second half to reach 30. He's going to get him after going to 3-0. Batista, second straight strikeout. And the hitter will be Logan Morrison.
I think Hanley's probably thinking, well, I've already had a pretty good series here on Kinetic. I won't argue that low and outside pitch. That's a tough call.
Hanley, by the way, hit his 100th homer here September 6th against J.D. Martin last year. Kinetic, North America, providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers with the pitch track. Logan Morrison has been on base 6 of the 7 times he's entered the batter's box in this series. 3 walks, 3 hits. Phillies have a run in the fourth against Chad Billingsley and the Dodgers. 1-0 Philadelphia. Right now they're 3 back of the Braves, who won in extras at Houston today. Jim Riggleman joins us live from the dugout. Wired Wednesday with the manager coming up. Bottom of the inning.
I can see he's looking forward to that.
If he chose not to speak with us, we probably understand.
I would totally understand. He's too classy for that. I already told you how he called up my radio show at 4:30 in Arizona, and he's on tomorrow. This was last week. He's quite the diligent person when it comes to things like that.
Win or lose, he's always there for us.
Yes, he is.
And that's a 5-pitch walk, and Logan Morrison just belongs at first base here. That's Batista's first walk after striking out a couple. All right, let's answer that interesting trivia question.
You got Babe Ruth, I got Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, I don't like my chances. Holds the record for the most homers in the first 10 seasons. Pujols did it. How about that?
Wow.
In fact, Pujols is in his 10th season right now. I mean, you take his 10 years times 2, he's way over 700. Hard breaking ball by Batista. No balls, 2 strikes.
Let's check the list out.
Eddie Matthews up there. How about that? A-Rod's down at number 6 and the Babe nowhere to be found. And Adam Dunn right there.
Junior, player of the 90s.
So Pujols, unless something serious happens, will go over 400 by the time he's done with his 10th year.
No one's played with more maladies than Albert. Whether it was the busted up elbow or the foot fasciitis. The guy just keeps going. Now they say what? They don't have to do the Tommy John surgery on him after all?
Runner goes. Ground ball, Zimmerman, backhand. From behind the bag, launches the throw. Beyond the reach of Adam Dunn, and that will score a run. Ryan Zimmerman will get his 12th error of the year. Most of them on throws.
Ball backs him up towards third base. Kind of drops the back shoulder and launches it. And it just goes way over Adams' head as he tries to stay on the base. Morrison, his walk comes around the score as he was stealing on the pitch.
That's just foul. E5 all the way, so that run will be unearned. And the Nats have made 90 errors on the year. We have to check the defensive stats to see who else is having a good year at third base, but you sure hope Ryan doesn't put his Gold Glove repeat in jeopardy here in the last 2 months. They are swinging from the heels. Desmond to Kennedy, Ugla gone, and the Nats give up an unearned run, and after 2.5, it's 8-1 Florida. 8-1 Florida, middle of the third, bottom of the order has batted. Here comes Bernadita, Desmond, and Dunn. Jim Riggleman joins us on Wired Wednesday. Jim, obviously a very difficult start for Scott Olson. What were you seeing from the dugout leading to his problems in the early part of the game?
Well, he threw a lot of fastballs, and they were just on it. His arm obviously feels good because that's probably as good a velocity he had, but maybe overconfident with his fastball because it's about 91, 92, and hitters kind of like that. This right-hand hitting lineup was on his fastball, and he didn't make the adjustment to throw some off-speed stuff to get him off it.
Last 3 games have been tough on you, trying to come from behind early. How does that change your job as a manager? Because I'm sure you came to the park not thinking you're going to be down 8-0 in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, you still want to try to win the game, but you got to preserve some pitching, and fortunately we've had Miguel Batista do this for us a few times where he's saved some other guys in the bullpen, but it's too much to ask for when you're getting your bullpen up in the second to the fourth inning, wearing them out down there and then bring them in the game. That's not going to work. That's a bad formula for success. It's not going to work, and we got to change it.
Jim, thanks so much for your time. A lot of baseball yet tonight. We wish you well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Jim Riggleman here in the bottom of the third. Bernadina already gone. Desmond goes up. First pitch swinging. And Dunn to follow, possibly Zimmerman. Bottom of the third. Ian pulls off the breaking ball, 0-2.
Well, and if anything, for the offense, try to put some crooked numbers up there, get Volstad out and get the bullpen in, and try to maybe weaken their bullpen for tomorrow. If you can't take them down tonight, at least maybe weaken them.
Desmond waits for the breaking ball, hits it a long way to left center, and it is into the bullpen.
Nice.
Ian Desmond with his 8th homer of the year. That reminds me a lot of his first major league homer here last September. A hanging breaking ball, and he jumps all over it.
Well, a very nice take on the pitch before this was a fastball in, took it for a ball, then he gets the big breaking ball, and he doesn't miss it. And that's what you do up in the big leagues. Guy makes a hanging mistake like that, and you put it out.
Here's Adam Dunn. Fastball in there. So for Desmond, RBI number 47, his second of this series. And the Nats have hit 106 home runs, 1 fewer than Florida. Adam Dunn lines one hard to center. Ball is on the ground, right in front of Cody Ross.
Nice. String some more together here. Make them panic a little bit.
But you said crooked number, and let's see if the Nats can add another run or two. A lot of time left to come back in this game.
Well, you got to kind of try to not look at the scoreboard and just say, okay, we have a game plan against Volstad. We're down 6. Okay, we can't fix that, but what we can do is go out there and give some productive at-bats. And those last 2 at-bats were very productive.
Zimmerman singled hard up the middle first time. Ryan's now driven in 64.
The one thing we've still done well as a ball club is be patient at the plate. When they start jumping at the first pitch, you're playing into the pitcher's hands.
Good fastball. Somebody's going to ask Zimmerman if Volstad pitches overhand to him or not. Those are crazy numbers.
Those are some lopsided numbers. Well, and I think the better your numbers too, you can just sit back here and wait for this guy to try to make a mistake because he's pitching you so fine right now. He knows the numbers as well as you do.
2-1, Zimmerman rips it, and that's off the hands of Donnie Murphy. Adam Dunn makes the turn and returns to second base wisely. 2 on, 1 out.
All right, Michael, make it hurt.
And will the official scorer give an error on this? That ball came up and
was
almost hurt Donnie Murphy.
That was a bullet.
Well, I'm telling you, Rob, I agree with you, but we don't know how anything gets scored around here. Look at that ball come up. If they call that an error, somebody needs to go down to third base and field some grounders.
Nah, that hit him in the chest. That was a shot.
They've already posted the base hit. No, they haven't. They haven't yet. It is scored a base hit.
It's like waiting for lottery numbers and the balls to come up.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's tense. We don't know which way it's going to go. Here's Michael Morse. On a check swing, he fouls it. Michael's batting average is heading down toward 300 after all this time. He's at 303. As a starter in his 29th game, he's batting about 290. I mean, we didn't expect Mike to bat 340 this year. But he's got to find a way to stay productive while playing every day. Adam Kennedy is next. Nats have strung together 3 hits here in the third. Interim skipper Edwin Rodriguez, 21-20 with his win here last night. Some of the usual names are being thrown around, Rob, including, somebody told me this last night, you never know when they might eventually end up making a deal with Bobby Valentine. Who knows? Edwin Rodriguez, if they play well, reportedly will get consideration. Pretty much a minor league manager in his career. Michael Morse fights off the breaking ball.
Well, this is what you talked about before with Volstad. They would like him to throw more sinkers in this situation instead of he throws a big curveball and he throws a changeup. And when you're a big guy with a nice sinker like that at 6'8", you'd like to see a slider or a cutter, something that's going away from a right-handed hitter. And he really doesn't have that pitch.
He's really not pitching like a guy with a 7-run lead. Nearly 60 pitches, 1 out in the third inning. Moore gets jammed, or Morse gets jammed, and an easy catch for Hanley Ramirez. Michael almost strong enough to get that ball into center field.
There was the sinker that they would like to see more of. And jams Michael Morse.
It'll be up to Adam Kennedy now with 2 outs.
H.H. Gregg on the slow-mo. There's the sinker. He's got the fingers between 2 seams. It's tumbling back into Michael Morse right up by his hands.
Right on the trademark. Kennedy bounced out to third his first time up, and a side door breaking ball comes in for a strike.
And when we talked about Adam Dunn's bat and that sweet 6 inches, that wasn't part of the 6 inches we were talking about. That's down on the hands, and you can't get extended, and you just basically get nothing on the hit.
Kennedy will hit it with authority to right field. Right there is Stanton. And the Nats will settle for a run on the Ian Desmond 1-out homer. Desmond hitting his 8th of the year, breaking ball into the bullpen. And after 3, it's 8-2. That was last night's final score. A lot of baseball to be played yet tonight. First 15,000 fans through the gates receive a Steven Strasburg Major League debut DVD. Harris Teeter presents it. Relive Steven's first game right here at the ballpark back to June 8th. Added bonus features included. Get your tickets at nationals.com/tickets. Waving your caps here at the ballpark. Little guy's sort of shy. He'll get over it. And the Marlins come up top of the 4th inning. Cody Ross, Mike Stanton, and Donnie Murphy for Florida as Miguel Batista begins his second full inning of work.
Well, you wanted to know who the competition would be for Zimmerman for the Gold Glove. Roland's got 6 errors, and Polanco has 4.
Okay, it's not guaranteed, is it?
No.
Just on cue, Ryan to his left.
Attaboy.
He says, "Shut up, Carpenter and Dibble. I'm going to win that Gold Glove again." Well done. First out, top of the 4th.
He doesn't need a Gold Glove to show he's one of the best fielders in the big league, so he picks that, does a little pirouette, and have a seat. See him, nice lunge right at the perfect moment. Nice stretch by Adam.
Next up, the rookie Mike Stanton, 2 for 2, double, single, 3 RBIs.
If you were building a prototype for a baseball player, I think this would be the guy.
Yeah. Well, he reminds us of Justin Maxwell. Stanton, second rounder in 07 out of Notre Dame High School in California. He was a very good wide receiver and cornerback in high school, and USC wanted him to come there and play football. Marlins took him in the draft before the Braves took Jason Hayward. And it's foul tip on a breaking ball. Nothing much happening in the Dodger-Philly game. That one run the Phils scored, bottom of the 4th against Chad Billingsley. Still standing up. Phillies getting good pitching. No runs on 5 hits by Roy Oswalt. And the Mets still lead Colorado. 6th inning now on the Angel Pagan home run in the first. His 10th of the year. And a 1-2 to Stanton. Batista had him reaching. He drives it the other way. Michael Morse off of his glove. Catchable ball into the corner. And Stanton checks in at second base. Both teams, numerous balls deflecting off the webbing of gloves tonight.
Ball is going to be fading away from him. It's a pitch away. He hits it off the end of the bat. It's fading away, so you got to know it's going towards the foul line. And right at the last moment, it just gets too far away from him.
That'll be another interesting decision for the scorer. Donnie Murphy's the hitter. He's 2 for 2.
I would have to say E9. Ball should have been caught.
Catchable ball. And that one right past Pudge Rodriguez. Well, they'll have to decide on that one while trying to decide on the previous one.
That's wild.
Pretty wild?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Okay.
I differentiate when the catcher could dive and maybe catch the ball. Okay, it's a tough play. Wild pitch.
They have given Morse an error on that previous play. That's Michael's first error of the year. So the Nats have made 2 tonight, now have 91 on the year.
Well, he's better than that. He knows he should have caught the ball. Good athlete.
Infield in. Swing and a miss on a pitch a foot or more off the plate. And Donnie Murphy's behind 1-2. Evidently, Paulino on deck, Screech in the hole, and the Geico Gecko after him. Did he go? How about a call? And Mike Winter says he's out.
I'll make the call.
Third strikeout by Batista with Ronnie Paulino on deck.
Well, he had him fishing for another breaking ball way outside that time. Just comes by the plate.
Strike called to Paulino. 0 for 1. Walked intentionally back in the first. Had the count 3-0 in the second with 2 men aboard, then grounded out, ending the inning.
Like that.
Pudge feels like he's already caught 1 game tonight.
I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because he's diving to try to catch every one of those balls. Just saved a run.
I know. He feels like a goalkeeper in an indoor soccer game right now.
Oh, he feels like the goalie in Slapshot.
Breaking ball fouled off to the right, 1-2.
You probably didn't see that movie.
Who didn't?
You didn't see Slapshot, did you?
Of course I had.
Paul Newman, well, he
The
comes
Hansons?
in. Yeah.
Come on.
There you go. Well, then the goalie comes in between periods, and he's still like stopping shots in his locker. That's the way Pudge is going to be after the game.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Paulino. Stands at third base now with 2 outs after the error and the wild pitch. And a bouncer out to short. Desmond backs up. Makes the exchange. And finally, the Nationals do not allow the Marlins to score. First time tonight. Are not giving up. We invite you to visit FCA.org. It's the association for IT pros. And here's Debbie with our FCA sideline report.
Well, Marlins interim manager Edwin Rodriguez was a scout in Puerto Rico when he first met Ivan Rodriguez. Pudge was a teenager playing American Legion baseball, and Edwin took notice.
Back then, you can tell he would be, years to come, would be a very solid player. I mean, you never imagine it would be the player that he is right now. But defensively and the arm strength was there. Always a question mark on him. It was his offense. And he had made some adjustments. But that was the first time I saw him. He was only about 15 years old.
And Edwin also credited Pudge's incredible work ethic, which we've talked a lot about, for his durability. And Pudge told me today, too, that he thinks Edwin is doing a great job managing the Marlins. He said it's great to have a manager who connects with the young players. He's been in the game for 40 years, and he's done a nice job developing the players, and he's got a lot of patience, Bob.
Well, Debbie, he's been a scout. He's been a minor league manager. Signed with the Yankees as a minor league free agent, did Edwin Rodriguez back in 1980. Played parts of 3 years in the big leagues with the Yankees and Padres, and had a grand total of 22 at-bats. Pudge with a fair ball. Donnie Murphy with an outstanding play to take 2 bags away from the future Hall of Famer.
And I'm sure he relishes every one of those 22 at-bats. Well, this ball is well struck right here. It's going to be down the line. It looks like a double. Murphy getting back for that strikeout call, and he steals a double away from Pudge Rodriguez. Get up, right yourself. Nice fundamental throw. Didn't rush it.
Willie Harris takes one in there. Willie flied to left his first time. And that's a ball and 2 strikes on the foul. We told you Miguel Batista would probably bat more than once. And Willie Harris takes a fastball just low. Bottom 4, Nats out hit 9-4. Marlins lead 8-2. Pretty good looking breaking ball by Volstad. He's going to have to throw 80 pitches or more to get his 5 innings in tonight.
To be on record for the win.
That's right.
If they were to win.
Marlins came in 4.02 staff ERA, 8th best in the National League. The Nats are 9/100ths of a run behind them in the number 10 spot. So it's interesting, the number's not that different. The Marlins did have a lot of bullpen struggles first 2 months of the year. They've pretty much righted that. Willie Harris lashes one off the pitcher, looking to beat it out, and he won't on a very good play by Dan Uggla. 1-4-3. So 2 very good defensive plays by a team not known for its defense.
I think Volstad gets a glove on this. He does. He does deflect it with his glove. It goes over to Uggla. 1-4-3. But Uggla throwing underneath his body.
Nice. You know, the Marlins are now talking about re-signing Uggla to an extension. They've shopped him around the last couple of years, but his batting average is up, his strikeouts are down, his on-base percentage is up, and he really hasn't sacrificed much of the power for which he's hitting. He's not an exceptional second baseman. He's made 13 errors, but that was a good play. Batista out to right. 5th inning coming up. We showed you nachos, pretzels right here. Later on, hot dogs, cotton candy, and who knows what else to keep you awake. behind, 4-1, and then 7-1 early, 8-2 on to the 5th inning. But then you focus in on what Miguel Batista does. He comes in games like this, and not to be overlooked the fact that he can save your bullpen for a couple of days.
And once again, I mean, we're putting some nice numbers up against Volstad's total on the night. Hopefully we can get him out of there by the 5th inning, get into their bullpen and do a little bit of damage there and aggravate them for tomorrow. I mean, that's you always want to leave and set the tone for tomorrow, or leave some kind of lasting image with the Marlins. So you don't want to quit. Just throw up your hands and say, okay, you got this game. You want to go out, make them know that you were here tonight, try to get into their bullpen, and hopefully do enough damage where it might help you salvage tomorrow's game.
Rockies just scored a run in the 7th, still trail at New York, 2-1, 7th inning. The Nats have Volstad up to 72 pitches, 50 strikes through 4. And he will lead off here in the top of the 5th against Miguel Batista.
I had a good minor league manager that would always say, let's give him a good finish. Meaning, in a game like tonight, really, really go hard the last few innings and make sure that that team knows that come tomorrow, it's going to be a different story.
Tony La Russa had a good one he came up with a few years ago. He wants his team every day to play what he calls a hard 9.
Took the air away from Mike Morse and gave them a double.
I heard that. That makes Stanton 3 for 3. One and 2, Batista to Volstad, and he just misses.
Okay, so if they're thinking as it was a long run for Michael Morse and it came off his glove, then what's your argument on Hanley Ramirez running from where he was to the ball that punched it up the middle?
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Had him reaching. 4th strikeout by Batista. And as a rule, calls like that usually favor the home team guy getting a hit before the other guy. Tonight is just the other way around. I'm not saying that I would like to have that job. It is not an easy job to be the official scorer for a big league game. Top of the order now. Here's Hanley Ramirez. 1 through 3 with the home run that we estimated he hit about 425 or 430 out there to left center field. In fact, Tommy Hutton, the Marlins' fine TV analyst, former big league player, came over and asked us if anybody's hit one up that high, and we told him that Zimmerman has, Michael Morse has. But that was about the longest one we've seen by a visiting player in that part of this park. It's a front door slider that stays inside. 2-0.
See, now you're too honest. I would have lied and said, oh, Ryan Zimmerman, you see the top of the red porch? He hit it on top of that.
You would have told him Alberto Gonzalez hit one up there.
That was nothing. You should have seen last week. Yeah.
I remember last time Hanley Ramirez went 3-0. Then he stood there and watched 3 borderline calls for strikes. I don't think anybody's going to reach the red loft.
That would be a poke.
That ball would have to say Titleist on it. Although some of those balls they use for the home run derby at the All-Star game might have a chance.
3-0 again on Hanley. He's going to come in there with a sinking strike. If he can do it again. Just a little too low.
And Batista with his second walk. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Miller Lite Party Night here at Nationals Park. It'll get going tomorrow evening. Get a scoreboard pavilion seat and a drink voucher for $20, $22 for prime games. Come early, pregame happy hour at the Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk Bar featuring $5 beers. Check it out at nationals.com. Make your ticket plans for tomorrow night and take home a Steven Strasburg Major League debut DVD. Now Pudge wants to speak with Batista.
Got a little too much sink on that sinking fastball. He's got to be able to throw something over for a strike to get ahead. Once again, he's been in there an awful long time. Might be getting a little bit weary in this 95-degree weather.
Logan Morrison, 2 singles, a walk, 3 runs scored, and a 4-6-3 double play ball. That gets this one into the bottom of the 5th inning. Top of the order coming up, Bernardina, Desmond, and Dunn. The Nats down by 6. Not done yet. We share. There's our game summary halfway through. Stanton, his fly ball now changed to a double, so he's 3 for 3. Hanley Ramirez going deep for the 16th time, and Ian Desmond for the 8th time for the Nats. Shortstop sitting for power here.
Last year's batting champion, Hanley Ramirez. 0-2 pitch. Down and in, not down and in enough, and he crushed the ball. But then a hanging breaking ball by Chris Volstad, and Ian Desmond crushes that one into the Marlins bullpen.
Here's Roger Bernardina. Swung early in the count last time. Bounced out to Gabby Sanchez at first. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored.
You like these numbers. He's leading off an inning. He's hitting .281, 6 doubles, and 4 walks.
You don't happen to have that on-base percentage, do you?
I can get it for you.
That's a good number, though, 280 plus. Roger came in hitting .275. Because the 2 most important numbers for a leadoff guy, first of all, what your on-base percentage is, leading to how many runs you score.
Really nice changeups by Volstad tonight. When you're 6'8" and you're throwing a circle change that's dropping out right into .343 on-base percentage, Bob.
Okay, that's something to build on. You'd like that to be about 40 points higher. Volstad fires it over to Sanchez, bottom of the 5th underway. Phillies have picked up another run at home, bottom 6. Roy Oswalt leading Chad Billings' lead 2-0. Phillies trying to win to stay 2.5 back of the Braves. The hitter, Ian Desmond. So Desmond hits one down to third base for Murphy. Oof. Looking good with the glove down there. 2 outs.
How about the arm? He's rifled it over there.
Yeah, Donnie Murphy's been around for a while.
Check this out.
Much of him in the American League most of the time.
All right. Well, you got a good arm at short. Check this out.
88 games in the last 2 years with Oakland. Actually, 07-08, he wasn't even in the big leagues last year. sprained his knee at Norfolk for the Orioles and played 3 games all year. Royals 0405. Riverside Poly High School in California, went to Orange Coast Community College, and here's Adam Dunn, 1 for 2 with a base hit. Ryan Zimmerman on deck. Dunn, Zimmerman combined 3 for 4 tonight.
I don't know if you saw where the Mets released Alex Cora.
Oh, I did not.
He was 18 games away from having his contract vested for next year. And was released.
Yeah, that happens.
But a very good player and good guy.
Well, one of the best defensive players in the National League. Somebody might want him for the stretch run. Adam Dunn way out ahead of that 3-2 pitch.
They talk about his brother Joey, who's with the White Sox, as their third base coach. In fact, I think he might even be the bench coach by now for that Seattle job. They've been saying his name for about 5 years now as possible manager.
Adam Dunn, center field. How far is this baby going? Right up the hill. And the Nats have another solo homer. It's 8-3. And that's Adams' league leading 31st of the year.
Big bad Dunn. I thought you were going to say that ball was on its way to Seattle.
It's kind of the wrong direction, but I like the distance. Seattle would be a foul ball route.
That looked like a changeup. Down and away. He just stayed over it and killed it.
31 home runs for Adam Dunn. That breaks an 0 for, well, he was 0 for 13 before he got the base hit. Then he busts a homer out of here. And here's Zimmerman, who's 2 for 2. Well, that's a breaking ball for a strike, even though Ronnie Paulino couldn't catch it. The Nats have hit 2 tonight, 107 on the year. And Jose Bautista with a 4 home run lead over in the American League for that all-or-nothing Toronto club.
Just keep chipping away. Guys are starting to move around in their bullpen.
And Zimmerman had a home run cut. Good take by Ryan, breaking ball away. Nats have been out hit 10-5, but 2 of the last 4 hits have left the premises. And a 2-2 to Zimmerman, who's hit 22. Way outside. One left field corner. Zimmerman 3 for 3. He's at second base with 2 outs for Michael Morse.
Very nice finish going on here in Washington. Not out of the ball game just yet. H.H. Gregg didn't get cheated on that one. Look at how much he puts into this line shot over Murphy's head. Telling Dan Uggla, hey, I got full extension, hit it right on the 6 inches of the bat. That really feels good.
And I have 4 total bases tonight to your 1. Ugla did his damage last night. Here we are at Nationals Park. 9 o'clock arrives at our nation's capital, and the Nats are not folding up this tent just yet. 8-3 ball game. A big run out there at second base. Michael Morse is 0 for 2. Ground ball to second, pop up to short.
Come on, Michael. Cut down. All you need is a hit for another run here.
You know, I'm thinking the same thing, Rob. He does not have to swing hard to hit it hard or hit it a long way.
Take one of those slow curveballs the other way. Can't try to pull that.
When you see a guy with a one-handed swing, that means he's trying to jerk that thing left field way. Well, from Volstad's standpoint, he has kept the damage to a minimum. 2 solo home runs. The Nats haven't been able to get to him for a crooked number.
What we talked about with Michael Morse, that now that they know he's got a lot of power and the potential to hurt somebody, throwing a lot of breaking balls down and away from him.
Got him again on that breaking ball way outside. Nats get a run on the Adam Dunn homer. He hit that about 420 straight away center field. And on Dunn's 31st, the Nats get it back to a 5-run game. Lemon 2010, and George out to a good lead. Tall Tom right behind him.
Picking him up, putting him down.
Teddy giving Abe quite a battle for third place.
Come on, Teddy, come on. You're almost there.
If he hadn't been blocked out, there might have been a shot. George hits the tape first, and Tom, down he goes.
I think they're pretty silly, too.
You think they're silly? You've got to see this booth before we go on the air. We're just a bunch of kids up here anyway. Gabby Sanchez 0 for 2 with a walk. Ugla and Ross to follow, top of the 6th. Miguel Batista has been in this game since the 2nd inning.
I think Mike Wallace should give him maybe some extra dessert for what he's done tonight. An extra piece of pie.
I think so.
Yeah, he earned it.
So Miguel Batista now has pitched 3 full innings, 3 1/3. He's allowed the 1 unearned run because of Zimmerman's error back in the 3rd. But he's only given up 1 base hit since that 2nd inning. And a ball popped out in the left center. Bernardina, Willie Harris stopped, and Bernardina came on to get it. Really knew Roger was going to get there. Florida box score, lots of damage in the first 2 innings. 7 runs on 9 hits. All the way up and down the lineup. 3 RBIs for Stanton, 2 for Murphy. Ramirez, his 16th home run. Dan Uggla, 1 for 3 with a first inning single.
He's thrown more pitches now than Olson. Olson was 56 over 33. He's 63 over 36 now as far as total and strikes.
Great breaking ball to Uggla. Inside part of the plate, right over to the other edge.
I mean, he's had such a good sinker slider combination tonight that Kinetic right here will show you the slider. The Pudges actually had to go out there and say, hey, don't sink it so much. And that's another good slider right on the edge. And when you're a sinker ball guy, you want almost a dog-tired, dead-tired arm to give you that whip action. He's definitely got that now.
Does that help a breaking ball?
Not necessarily. It gives you a better feel for it. But he's more of a sinker ball guy. He doesn't get over the top. And so what makes his ball sink is he's 3/4 and his ball's coming inside out, going into a righty away from a lefty. He doesn't get on top like Volstead throws that 12-6 curveball. This is more of a from the 3/4 slider.
Adam reaching with a breaking pitch. Desmond up with it. Guns over to Dunn. 2 outs here in the 6th.
And what I mean by 3/4 is he's not coming full over the top. And he's going to whip it right there. And you see those big long fingers that he has. And that's just something you're born with. It's like Mariano Rivera has some of the biggest hands I've ever seen. His fingers are so long. They almost go all the way around the ball. And so when he just throws a regular fastball, it's a natural cutter that after 15 years is putting him into the Hall of Fame someday.
Front door breaking ball to Buter. Cody Ross 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the 1st.
And those ladies right behind there, they haven't stopped talking the whole game. They got some conversation going on. Right here. There must be a sale tomorrow around here or something.
And of course, that comes from up here where we're paid to do that.
We're paid to be long-winded. The husbands are going, man, don't bring your wife next time. Okay.
0-2 to Cody Ross. High in the air, center field, Roger Bernardino. Miguel Batista, another 0 on the board. He's pitched 4 1/3. Kennedy, Rodriguez, and Harris coming up. have 12 outs with which to work. Is it going to be a game? The Bats will let us know here shortly. The Nats are helping your kids go back to school in style. Sunday, first 10,000 kids, 12 and under, receive a free Kids Back to School supply kit. It's presented by Smithfield. Visit nationals.com/tickets to purchase yours in advance. And remember, it's also Sunday Family Fun Pack Day here at the ballpark. Adam Kennedy, bottom of the 6th. Volstad's 96th pitch of the game. Joel Peralta. Miguel Batista scheduled to bat 4th in this inning. Certainly has done his job with 69 pitches. That ball's diving, and so's the left fielder. And Logan Morrison dropped the ball when he hit the ground.
Yeah.
He made what appeared to be a brilliant play and then couldn't hold on. And Adam Kennedy's aboard as the night of deflections off the gloves continues.
Unlike football, Bob, the ground can cause a fumble right here, and as Logan Morrison will start sliding on this catch. Looks like he's going to make it, start sliding. Oh! It bounces out of his glove. And in the big leagues, you have to make the catch, come up, and show the umpire you have control of the ball before they give you the out sign.
Yeah. No tuck rule here.
Nope.
Here's Rodriguez, 0 for 2, but Pudge has hit the ball sharply twice.
Make it sting.
Nats now have 7 hits. Since the 2nd inning, Washington has out-hit Florida 6-1. Rodriguez, base hit right center. That'll score Adam Kennedy. And the Nationals are just 4 runs down. A couple of good at-bats by 2 professional hitters.
Well, 3rd time through the order is the charm. Kennedy goes to left. Pudge goes to right. And another run comes in. That gets their bullpen busy. And they're going to switch guys right now.
Nationals get to Volstad here. They haven't been able to score more than 1 run in any inning. Maybe the 6th is when that happens. So they keep chipping away and blasting away. Willie Harris will be next. Willingham on deck. It's an 8-4 game here in the 6th inning. Let's have a look at our league leaders, brought to you by Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Fewest home runs given up in the league. Now that the Nats have batted the Marlins around a couple of times tonight, 86 for Florida. The White Sox lead all of Major League Baseball with the fewest. Action-packed table games. Red hot slots await at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races, West Virginia. Former National Brian Sanchez, 31 years of age, 12 games here, 2 years ago with a 2-0 record, but a 7.36 ERA. Big spot for Willie Harris. 0 for 2. Pudge Rodriguez, the runner at first. On the corner. Josh Willingham nursing a sore knee. Also 2 for his last 21. Not in the lineup tonight, but about to hit for Batista. Good changeup. Willie rips it, double play. Right at the first baseman, 3 unassisted for 2 outs. Not a whole lot of base runner can do there either. It's not like Pudge when running off the bag. He was just in his leadoff.
Oh, the ball is well struck. It's just Gabby Sanchez is standing right there where it's hit, and no chance for Pudge. Real speed. Bang, bang.
Closes the book on Volstad, who gives up 4 runs in 5+. Here's Josh Willingham. That's a fair ball into the corner. It'll hit out in front of Logan Morrison. All right, the double play is huge now with Willingham at second base. 2 outs. Good swing by the hammer. You know, Jim Riggle made an interesting point about Willingham this afternoon. He said, if you look at his numbers, right now hitting .260 or so, 15 homers, 54 RBIs, he's headed for a pretty typical Josh Willingham type season. It's just he has been in a slump for the last week or so. With the hammer, you'll look up in September, and he'll have 20 or more home runs, and he'll have 70, 80 RBIs, maybe more.
Because of the bad knee, Jason Marquis is coming out to pinch run.
Good call. Don't have to use a position player. Marquis, always been a good athlete. Now Roger Bernardina becomes the key man with 2 outs. 3 hits in the inning. The only 2 outs registered on that laser line drive of a double play. (2-0) to Bernardina. Roger, fly ball right field. This one's got some carry to it, but not enough. Right in front of the bullpen, Stanton has it. Nats really swing the bat well in the 6th. Come up with just a run. runs in them in the last 3 innings. A long way to go in this game. Just now to the top of the 7th. Miguel Batista, Rob, goes 4+ innings and does not give up an earned run tonight.
What a tremendous job, Bob. 2 hits over 4 1/3. Couple of walks, 4 punch-outs, 69 pitches, and some great defense to hold the Marlins where they are at 8 runs right now. And so
I think he has a great future after he retires as a paramedic, because he was always to the rescue. Amazing what he's done for this ball club in tough situations this year.
And I'm going to guess no Miss Iowa comments after the game. All right, 7 times this year Batista has gone 3+ innings. April 18th, 5. April 24th, 3. May 21st, 4. June 20th, 3.
That ball is hammered by Stanton.
That ain't coming back.
That is way up there. Halfway up the seats to the concourse. And Peralta greeted by Stanton, who now needs a triple for the cycle. A single, 2 doubles, and a monstrous home run. Man, this team could swing that bat.
Well, the 0-1 pitch is up in the zone. You see it on top of the hitting zone. Well, when you're about 6'5", 250+ pounds, wow, that is just a massive bomb at the top of the stands. It bounced back.
That's a right-handed version of an Adam Dunn home run. Line drive right at Kennedy off the bat of Donnie Murphy for the first out. Well, that's the farthest we've seen a visiting player hit one down the line in this park. So Hanley Ramirez and Mike Stanton have given us a couple of memorable big flies here tonight. That kid is some kind of strong. That's his 11th homer, and he has a 4 RBI night, taking him up to 35. I don't think they have to worry about right field for a number of years in Florida.
Yeah, I think that he goes by Big Mike.
Well, they thought Jeremy Hermida was going to be their guy out right field for many years, but he had injury problems and hitting issues. Man, this kid is something.
His forkball doesn't get the call.
Colorado just dropped a 5 spot on the Mets in the top of the 8th. Melvin Mora, his 3rd homer of the year. 6-2 at Citi Field. The Rockies.
Ex-Met.
That's right. Good breaking ball. And at Philadelphia, Phil's bat, bottom 7. Still leading the Dodgers 2-0. Kenley Jansen is in there for L.A. Rory Oswalt still giving up only 5 hits. Peralta goes sidearm and punches him out. 2 down. Tonight's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Batting for the pitcher now, Hector Luna. He's been in and out of the big leagues for a number of years, dating back to around 94 with St. Louis when he was a Rule 5 pickup from Cleveland. He was hitting .294 with 71 RBIs in New Orleans and made the Pacific Coast League All-Star game before the Marlins called him up. They sent him to AAA the final day of spring training. Here's Jose Urias to take over in the 7th. Luna, 30 years old, out of the Dominican. He has played almost 3,000 games in the minor leagues. Adam Dunn. After the home run, 3 quick outs for Peralta, but Stanton now makes it a 9-4 game. Well, the Nats just can't stop the Marlins. They've scored in 4 of the 7 innings tonight. A couple of home runs.
I mean, if it's not Stanton, it's Ramirez.
Yeah.
At least we've had some action on our side of the offense. Ian Desmond getting into a curveball into their bullpen. Adam Dunn, dead center, takes an outside changeup into the batter's eye grass up there.
Well, the Nats doing some hitting tonight. 4 runs, but they just haven't been able to be anywhere near the lead. It's a busy box score tonight. Michael Morse is 0 for 3. Everybody else, other than Willie Harris, has at least been on base. And 29-year-old right-hander Jose Veras, who pitched to one batter, Zimmerman, last night in the 7th, walked him and then was taken out. Takes over here to face Desmond, Dunn, and Zimmerman.
Veras, last 5 games, 3 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 267 batting average against. Time to change that. Let's put a couple of runs up on the board. Make it interesting.
Desmond 1 for 3 with his 8th homer of the year. Ian Desmond is nearing 50 RBIs. Six hits between these 3 hitters tonight. That's a beauty of a breaking ball that had Desmond leaning. It's going to be tough for Ian to fight through this now. 0-2. He does get a breaking ball. Look where he hits it. It's another one into the bullpen. An 0-2 breaking ball out of here, and Ian Desmond hits his 9th of the year. It's now 9-5.
I would call that fighting mad.
Yes, sir.
Hang 2 breaking balls to this young man. Big hanger, 0-2, bad pitch, and it's going to leave the ballpark. This one hit better than the first one.
That ball was jacked. So here's Dunn.
Now that home run really hurts.
Dunn pops it up and prays this one will get out of play. Over by the dugout. It's coming back.
Nope.
And a tough play for Ronnie Paulino. Catcher was gone to the backhand side, feeling his way along the railing. And that's one instance where the shift really hurts you. Well, the Nats continue to blast home runs. 3 more tonight.
Nobody on base, though. That's what's hurting.
Yeah. Nine to 5, 21 hits in the game. And between the 2 ball clubs, 5 home runs.
Well, and for Jim Riggleman's offense, they've pretty much had a fantastic game. 5 hits. Or 10 hits, 5 runs. Like I said, you can't worry about your own staff, what we gave up. Pretty good game plan. They got Volstad out of there after 5 innings. Worked them for 100 pitches.
Fastball sizzles up and in. 2-1. Adams hit his 31st of the year tonight. RBI total up to 78. Dunn was all over that heater. More power coming. Ryan Zimmerman's 3 for 3. Breaking ball, and Dunn hits it out to left center. That ball playable for Cody Ross. Adam 2 for 4 tonight.
Not too many guys getting cheated tonight, Bob.
Levon Hernandez tomorrow. Ricky Nolasco, who the Nats have beaten this year. For the Marlins, Nats Extra, 6:30, first pitch, 7:05. And Friday night, the Diamondbacks will be here for 3. On the corner to Zimmerman. Ryan, 2 singles, a double, an RBI back in the first, and a stolen base. There's Will Ullman, their primary late inning situational left-hander. Breaking ball, did he check? Yes, he did, said Mike Winters.
Plates up here. Nobody saw that.
Ryan over 300 again. And he's reaching. This ball near the line. And a long run. Foul ball caught by Stanton for the second out. Visit the official online shop of the Nats, nationals.com. Largest selection of official gear, latest apparel, memorabilia, authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the nationals.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Michael Morse 0 for 3 with the bases empty and 2 outs. The Nats have scored single runs in 5 different innings tonight. Fastball right in there.
Some pretty good heat, mid-90s fastball. To see Morse try to turn that around.
Target outer half. Way outside. Gas, 3-2.
Well, this is just some high cheese right here. 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 3-1. Here it comes. I'm challenging you. Right there, that goes to Ferris.
Nasty breaking ball, and Michael Morse punched out by Mike Winters down at first. The Nats get another solo homer, a leadoff shot by Ian Desmond, second of the night, 9th of the year. It's 9-5 into the 8th.
to the top of the 8th inning. Now, earlier today, the Nationals, Miller High Life, and the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America hosted local veterans and their families. Craig Stammen on hand, and America's favorite delivery man, the Miller High Life guy, was there. Paul Rykoff, the executive director of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, on hand. The kids had a great time spending time with Craig and all the folks up there. Just another mention for the military and them being honored here at Nationals Park. Bob.
Washington, D.C. area veterans and their families. That delivery man is Wendell Middlebrooks, joining Paul Rykoff. A big guy with a big guy shirt, Adam Dunn. Our hearts, prayers, thoughts, and wishes for speedy recoveries to all those servicemen and women and their families. Top of the 8th inning. Hanley Ramirez 1 for 3 with a home run and a walk. Marlins on top 9-5. They led 8-1.
All right, Bob, now they're back there. They're eating ice cream and talking at the same time.
I just got an email that said there's a lot of women who come to the games while their husbands are the ones at home because they love this game. Tread carefully, Mr. Devil.
Oh, no. My wife loves to come to the game. They're right there, still talking.
Well, better there than the 2 seats behind you on the airplane on a 5-hour flight.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Logan Morrison, until he hit into a double play 3 innings ago, has been unstoppable for Florida. 3-1 to Hanley Ramirez. Okay, threw him a fastball, and Hanley was late for it. The Marlins may be vaulting over the Mets into 3rd place tonight. Where was that? Hanley Ramirez walks, leading off the 8th. First walk issued by Peralta.
Well, this pitch is over the plate, so it's got to be down. Yep, it's a little bit below the strike zone.
Yeah, had some late dip.
It's a good pitch, though.
Like Alan Porter got it right.
Clay Hensley. Getting hot. Getting ready.
Former Padre. Leadoff man aboard here in the 8th. Hanley Ramirez will take a base on you if you don't pay attention. He's 5th in the league with 22 steals. Morrison has singled twice, walked, scored 3 times. And Peralta pours it in there.
I was just thinking.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, those women, there's a new series, Real Housewives of D.C., that just came out. Maybe they're filming an episode.
Yeah. Following them to the ballpark.
Be a good place to go.
Maybe they'll come up to level 7 and check the view. A lot of view up here. And the 0-1 to Morrison. The Mets are now batting bottom 9, trailing the Rockies 6-2. Drew Storm doing some of his throw hopping and long tossing before he gets on the rubber.
I'm sure Jim Riggleman will get him an inning, get him sharp in case we're not winning tonight, but get ready for tomorrow's game.
Drew has not pitched since he gave up 2 runs in the 8th inning Sunday at Dodger Stadium. 0-2 to Morrison. Right up the middle, and the kid's got another base hit, maybe. There's another bad decision by Ian Desmond. Cut the ball off, threw it away, his 27th error of the year, after a base hit. He just has to know, Rob, when to throttle it back. That's been a problem.
Well, first you got to know your runner, and it's a very fast Morrison. Goes up the middle. You got to know right here, there's no shot at getting the runner. And as he throws it right by Adam Dunn, he moves those guys both into scoring position. So instead of first and second, becomes second and third, and just with no outs.
No chance for Adam. They're already there. Now Mike McGowan is coming out from the Nats dugout. Don't know if there's a problem with Joel Peralta.
Yeah, he kicked that ball up the middle, so maybe he hurt himself. And if young kids are watching, I don't recommend this. Don't stick your foot out like that to try to stop the ball. But he does deflect it. Watching the Little League World Series, they're trying to get to Little League World Series.
There's our buddy Mike McGowan, who still got a pretty good shiner under that right eye.
He took a ball in the face
after hit by an errant throw in L.A.
Alberto Gonzalez was warming up in between innings, and the ball came in the dugout, and he wasn't looking at it. Thankfully, it could have been worse.
Oh, an inch or two either way. Mike could have been seriously hurt.
I'm glad he's okay. As I was saying about the little leaguers, they emulate the guys in the big leagues. All they talk about is, Derek Jeter's their favorite guy, or A-Rod, or any of the modern day players. And sometimes they even get into bad habits watching guys at the big league level. I've seen a couple pitchers try to stop balls with their hands up the middle this year, bare hands.
But I've seen more pitchers kicking the ball this year than I've ever remembered.
The only reason it's dangerous is because you don't realize how hard some of these balls are hitting. And if it hits the inside of your ankle, it's probably going to bust your leg. And that'll set you back.
Second and third, nobody out. The Nats keep scoring single runs. Then the pitching staff keeps giving up runs to the Marlins. Florida has now scored 17 runs in 17 innings in this series. 2-1.
Well, this is a big spot right here for Joel. He's got to strike someone out or pop him up. Ball cannot leave the infield. You want to have any opportunity here to try to even the score with 6 outs left for the Nationals.
Front door breaking ball well inside, couldn't keep it fair. And the count 2-2.
Yeah, and inside forkball to Gabby Sanchez is dangerous. This guy's a pretty good hitter. He thinks right along with the pitchers.
Off speed for the strikeout.
That's that forkball.
Sanchez thinks he foul tipped the ball, then it hit the ground.
Well, now he's going to ask for help from one of the other umpires because Porter cannot see it.
Looks like, well, I thought he was going to walk down to Mike Winters, and then he said, no, forget it. First out of the inning. Second strikeout by Peralta. He'll face Dan Uggla.
No, I think Pudge catches this on the fly. Good forkball. No, it just deflected down his glove, but never hit the dirt.
Here's Uggla. 1 for 4. He's one of those guys who can small RBIs. He's driven in 71, including 4 last night.
a good pitch.
Final in New York, Rockies 6, Mets 2. But the Marlins hold on. They're in third place by a half game. Brad Litz pitching in Philadelphia. Dodgers batting top 9, down 2-0.
On that last play, watch the future Hall of Famer behind home plate. Basically tells him to throw it sidearm, and he does.
1-2 now. Breaking ball, Uggla reaching. It'll be out of play.
So a lot of different looks from Joel tonight. Sometimes your fastball's not going to be there. Sometimes you're going to have to get people out, whether you're a starter or out of the bullpen, with a slider and a forkball. And that's right now what he's bread and butter. He's going to these breaking balls. See the forkball grip. He'll go into his glove with that grip every time. So whether or not he's going to throw it or not, you think he's throwing a forkball. And he does.
Down and away for another strikeout. Pudge tagging Uggla. 2 down.
Another great forkball. It's split between your fingers, so when you throw a fastball, it just spits out and spins backwards. Looks like a fastball, but with less velocity. And the reason why you have that grip and you go in your glove, you don't want to be digging into your glove. In order to get the ball in between your fingers, you got to push against your glove to get it in there. And so that's why you'd rather have it in that grip, holding it behind your back right now, instead of trying to go in your glove, and then the hitter knows you're trying to throw a forkball.
Cody Ross 1 for 4 with an RBI hit back in the first. Peralta ends up almost with his back to the hitter after delivering that fastball. You talk about maximum effort.
I love Joel and his competitive nature. This guy's intense. I'm sure his ankle's stinging right now, but he doesn't care. He wants to try to finish this inning off. Great. No outs in second and third. One more pitch.
Sidearm right down the middle. Cody Ross watches it. And if the Nats were to have a chance to come back in this game, it was necessary to keep the Marlins from scoring in the 8th. This one's still within reach. pitcher spot for the Nats in the bottom of the 8th. Friday night, August 20th, Drew Storen bobblehead night, presented by Geico down at Fitzner Stadium in Woodbridge, Virginia. The first 1,000 fans receive this unique collector's item. To get your tickets, visit PotomacNationals.com or call 703-590-2311. The Potomac Nationals. Come join the party. Drew pitched a total of 7 games there, 10 innings last year. He will be immortalized forever. Clay Hensley for the Marlins here, bottom 8. Left-handed Kennedy, right-handed Rodriguez, left-handed Harris. Adam, a double down the left field line, leading off the 6th, would later score on the Rodriguez base hit. Oswalt and Brad Lidge 6-hit the Dodgers tonight. Phillies win it 2-0. Oswalt, 7th win of the year. Brad Lidge, 15th save. Phillies will stay 2.5 back of Atlanta. Kennedy waves at an off-speed breaking ball and strikes out.
Hensley works ahead quickly. 1-2 pitch coming up. Big breaking ball off the fingertips, and the bottom drops off the table. Adam can't get that one. Just got your typical reliever's hat. It's all white and salty. Doesn't change it because he's probably got a superstition.
Pudge Rodriguez, 2 hits last night, could easily be 3 for 3 tonight. A base hit up the middle. Well, actually called an error. Under the glove of Ramirez back in the 2nd. Then he stung one down the 3rd baseline, and Donnie Murphy took a double away from him. He did single a run home in the 6th with a line drive to right center. Clay Hensley, 106 games over a 4-year period for the Padres. And Pudge has another base hit. He is swinging the bat sweetly right now. And Pudge is 4 for 8 in this series. He's aboard with 1 out for Willie Harris.
I know when we talked to him in Arizona, he talked about, listen, I'm just going to keep swinging. It's going to come around, and it has. Right there. Nice breaking ball. He stays right on top of it. Look at that. Head over the ball. Bat out in front.
Still looks like he's in his late 20s, doesn't he?
I mean, as fundamentally sound as you can be, whether it's hitting or fielding and blocking balls and throwing people out. Kind of like a textbook on catching.
Willie Harris hit the ball hard last time in a situation just like this at Gabby Sanchez. All he had to do was catch the ball and touch the bag with Pudge leading off next to him. 2-0. Kevin Mensch, if the inning continues. Two and two.
Come on, Willie. Put a charge in right here.
3-2. Bottom of the 8th, we arrive at the 10 o'clock hour. Nationals Park, where the Marlins scored 4 in the first, 3 in the second. Led 8-1 at one point. It's now a 9-5 game. Willie dribbles one in front of the plate. And the pitcher goes to second for the 1-6 fielder's choice. That'll bring up Mensch. Kevin Mensch appeared as a pinch hitter, popped up in the 9th inning last night. As a National, he's 1 for 3. Kevin, at the age of 32, back in the big leagues for the first time since 08. Hit .243 for the Blue Jays in 51 games. Minor leagues the rest of the year. Japan last year. And then he was hitting .249, 3 homers, 40 RBIs for Syracuse, 87 games when the Nats selected his contract 5 days ago. That's when Niger Morgan was put on the DL.
With runners on first base, hitting .295.
5 years with Texas, 2 with Milwaukee, 1 with Toronto. With the runner going, Mensch on a breaking ball strikes out. Nats fail to score in the 8th. The Memorials all lit up on a beautiful summer night. Right now, it's the Marlins on top, 9-5. On top, trying to make it 2 in a row and trying to hand the Nationals their 4th straight loss. Ricky Nolasco, 12-8. Livan Hernandez goes for the Nats. He's 8-7. Nolasco, 7-3 career against the Nats, and Livan Hernandez, 11-7 against the Marlins. We'll get you going at 6:30. Nats Extra. First pitch from Livan somewhere around 7:05. Nats have faced Ricky Nolasco and beaten him in their most recent matchup. First game back after the All-Star break, the night Strasburg pitched in Florida. Happy birthday, Drew Storen, 23 years of age today. Born August 11th, 87 in Brownsburg, Indiana. 23 years later, a pretty good fastball. Against Mike Stanton, 4 for 4 tonight. 2 doubles, a single, a homer, 4 RBIs. Slaps one right side, base hit. 5 for 5. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra, presented by Verizon Fios, coming up. Well, what'd that song say? Second verse, same as the first. Marlins, big lead early. Nationals try to battle back, fall short. Unless a miracle ninth inning rally is in the offing. Donnie Murphy, the hitter, 2 for 4. That is foul outside the line.
Well, the one thing for Drew Storen, that moving into the closer's role or pitching late in the ball games and being a very good setup guy, you're going to pitch in some losing games like this, and you've got to tell yourself it's a 1-0 game, and you've got the lead, and you can't let up, and you can't let your adrenaline go out of your body and come out here and just, you're not getting work in. You have to lie to yourself that this is a pressure situation to keep yourself and keep your edge in case you're in a safe situation tomorrow. Matt Capps did a great job of that this year. Went through some real dry periods of time where he didn't get a lot of save opportunities, but he had to try to keep himself sharp.
He was always ready when needed. Quiet ballpark tonight because the Marlins have led the entire way. 15,061 paid tonight. And a good breaking ball sends Donnie Murphy away. Nats have struck out 10 Marlins tonight.
Works ahead nicely, then he comes with the 12-6 hammer, puts him away nicely.
Ronnie Paulino's 0 for 3 with a walk.
And the thing in that Dodger game is he was throwing a lot of breaking balls, and the one thing that Jim Riggleman wants to see more of was right there, try to work ahead and throw some strikes consistently with the above 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Back to Storen, to Desmond 1, to Dunn 2. A good 1-6-3 double play for the Nats, and this one goes to the bottom of the ninth. Top of the order, Bernardina, Desmond, and Dunn. The Nats are down by 4.
trailing at 9-5. Well, the last 4 or 5 innings, Ray, the Nats have outscored the Marlins 3-1, but the damage was done early in this ball game.
Johnny, just too often, too quick, like lightning striking. 4 runs early, 3, then 1, 8 runs by the 3rd inning. Again, our starting pitching not able to hold down the opposition early, and the team battling back, hitting as many balls hard tonight as we've hit in a long time. But, guys, that's a long climb up that hill.
Well, let's see if the Nationals can continue the climb and win only for the 2nd time this year when trailing after 8. If anybody can pull them through, it's Bob and Rob back upstairs in that booth.
Johnny, it's a tug-of-war. We're pulling as hard as we can up here. And here's their closer. It's a non-save situation, but Leo Nunez hasn't had any work in this series so far. Nunez, a very demonstrative, and some feel overly so, closer. I guarantee you, if he gets 3 outs, he'll celebrate this like it's a 1-0 ball game. Trying to win it for Volstead, who would be 6-8. If the Nats don't get Scott Olson off the hook, he'll be 3-4. And here's Roger Bernardina, hitless tonight, 0 for 3 with a walk. And Bernardina in the series, 1 for 7 with 2 walks.
Very similar with Drew Storen, where the Marlins are upset that he throws too many breaking balls to try to get 3 outs at the end of ball games. And he does have great secondary pitches.
Nunez on the year, 49 strikeouts, 12 walks. The league hitting only .260 against him.
With his stuff, though, they should be hitting about 200 off of him.
0-2 to Roger Bernardina.
It's a pretty good pitch.
Catcher was set up outside. Umpire was set up inside.
Well, you just think. It cost the Marlins Mike Jacobs to acquire this kid's arm.
Jacobs turned out to be a bust in New York.
A bust in Kansas City first.
Yeah.
That's where he went first.
That's right. He was there for a year, then in New York, and the Mets let him go pretty quickly. Bernardina strikes out, and he's 0 for 4 tonight.
Fourth drive of the game, 2 home runs by Ian Desmond, the National shortstop. Hanging breaking ball off Volstead. And another hanging breaking ball later in the ball game. Similar spots, similar results. Fourth drive of the game, Ian Desmond.
Ian in the series, 2 for 8, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. High breaking ball, couldn't get to it. Marlins about to beat the Nationals for the 7th time in 11 games this year. Kind of the same old story between these two clubs. Two strikeouts. If the Marlins hold on to win, since the birth of the Nationals in 05, Florida would be 61-39 against Washington, a 22-game advantage. It'll be up to Adam Dunn to keep it going for Ryan Zimmerman.
Last pitch hit triple digits.
Dunn grounds right side. Hanley Ramirez on the ground. Throws him out. Game over. Right around 3 hours and 8 minutes, and the Marlins in a position to sweep tomorrow. They've scored 17 runs on 24